From the ECSI Sports Studios and the #1 sports investors in America, we bring you the Closing Bell. As the market closes, legends Jeff Dawson and Riley Magnuson bring you all the sports investing tips for tonight's matchups. If you want to learn more from the two legends at the desk, make sure you stay tuned to the Closing Bell. Hey sports fans, are you ready for an exhilarating gaming experience? Introducing VIPClub.lv, your ultimate online sportsbook and casino. VIPClub.lv offers a vast selection of sports, from football and basketball to tennis and baseball. Bet on your favorite teams and enjoy the thrill of the game. But that's not all. Our state-of-the-art online casino offers a dazzling array of games, including slots, blackjack, roulette, and live dealer tables. Win big with their fantastic promotions, rewards, and exclusive offers. Join VIPClub.lv today and get a generous 100% match welcome bonus to start your winning streak. Make sure to use code ECSI at sign-up. Bet it, win it, and cash it at VIPClub.lv. Visit VIPClub.lv now and play responsibly. VIPClub.lv, your sportsbook and casino extravaganza. Must be 21 or older to play. Please gamble responsibly. Visit gambleware.org for help. ECSI fans, do you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all of your sports books and track all of your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You can also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as they're the best account on the platform. Head to the App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire to download the app.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans from all across the globe. This is East Coast Sports Investors Closing Bell for Thursday, January 18th. I am Riley Magnuson, your solo host for this Thursday evening. Jeff Dawson is heading up for Sports Map Radio this evening. So I'm going to keep it very, very short and sweet today. Probably a little quicker than I usually typically go on these solo shows. Not a ton going on. Going to be talking Thursday night basketball, college basketball, and NBA. Only 4 or 5 games in the NBA. Handful of college basketball games. Not as big of a slate as we've had the rest of this week. Only a few games that, in my opinion, that I've bring to the table are worth talking about here. So going to be very, very short and sweet. If you have not already and you saw some shows, seen some ads, blah, 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 go check out WagerWire, please, on their app. Go download it. Go follow them on X, everywhere else that you can on social media, and learn more about them. They are going to help you understand how this world works and give you more tools in this world, just beyond your average pulling up your local book and betting. So definitely go check them out. They are very, very, very kind and helpful people, and they'll help you out if you need it. Or come on over to us, and we will help you out there. Aside from that, as far as yesterday goes, Jeff and I talked college basketball, NBA, on top of general NFL and whatnot. Yesterday, the one wrong NBA pick that we were interested in, and I was especially interested in, Rockets can't get it done against the Knicks, cannot cover that game there. Bad pick in the NBA there. Atlanta wins, does not cover. That was another one I at least was interested in Atlanta winning. Told you I think Atlanta is going to start winning some games. Couldn't cover, but they did win that game. The other one, Milwaukee-Cleveland, we got the live on-air news that Giannis was out. If you caught Cleveland, at any number, obviously you're winning. If you caught them at the underdog spot, you were in good shape. Still in good shape. They win by 40. And the other one that we talked about as far as staying away, but also kind of stunk a little bit, was the Raptors, who had just traded away Pascal Siakam earlier that day. as short dogs. They win that one by 24 points, 121 to 97. So easy win for them there. That one was obviously another one that we talked about. Said stay away because you never know what's going to happen when a team loses their best player. The reason to believe they're going to come out, the guys that are still there coming out scrapping and fighting, but still a good way to stay away from it. Well, they are playing again today, and I will talk about them here as one of the games that I'm interested in talking about. Obviously, still some question marks with that team, but at least we're talking about today. And as far as college basketball is concerned, kind of gave you some indication that we thought maybe one of these big favorites or higher ranked favorites was going to fall by the wayside, and they didn't. UConn takes care of business. Kentucky takes care of business after a good stretch of some highly ranked teams going down. Obviously, we a couple of them yesterday put their foot in the sand. UConn, especially 62-48, really good defensive win, and then Kentucky good offensive win, 90-77. Oklahoma takes care of business. Houston, and I know Jeff was feeling strong about Houston bouncing back and covering. They won by 23 as 13-point favorites. And then I don't believe we talked too much else in ranked games outside of that as well. LSU takes care of business against Ole Miss. We kind of saw that one as an opportunity for. It wasn't an underdog team. Ole Miss was the underdog team, but obviously an unranked team to beat a ranked team in LSU there. So moving on into today, as I mentioned, going to be short and sweet. Only a few games to talk about. A couple Big Ten games and then one other non-Big Ten game, non-Power 5 game. But it is obviously a bigger school. We'll talk about it in a second. But the first one up, Minnesota and Michigan State. Michigan State 11-point favorites at home against Minnesota, the Golden Gophers. 12-5 Minnesota, 10-7 Michigan State. Michigan State 11.5 point favorites. Big number at home here. Obviously, the current records don't state what these two teams should be or could be. With Minnesota having the 12-5 better record, they've lost a couple in a row of starting to come back down to earth after a really nice run. An underdog young team that was bottom feeder last year, starting to be a scrappy team now this year. But have lost their last two at Indiana, home against Iowa over the weekend. Lose those fairly convincingly. And now you've got a Michigan State team just bounced back at home against Rutgers over the weekend, I believe it was, 73-55 after a couple of losses on the road in Illinois and Northwestern. So this Michigan State team still 10-7, obviously not where they wanted to be. Still in a position to start to rattle off some wins here and still make a resume for themselves. It's not dead yet. They obviously probably would be on the outside looking in if you ended it right now, but still have a chance to climb their way and claw their way back into things here and especially put themselves in a position to have a nice run in the Big Ten tournament or something like that. So they obviously need to start putting some statements together. As far as the line is concerned, I'm a little I'm staying away from that 11-point spread. Seems a little inflated with everyone thinking Michigan State's got to make that statement at home here. Not bounce back, but further build off that win against Rutgers the other day here. I would be more interested if I am hammering home Michigan State tonight to take their team total 76.5 to the over. If they're covering that 11.5 point spread, I would be shocked if they don't go over that 76.5. Would not shock me, however, if they go over that 76.5 and fail to cover there. So I am more confident in Michigan State's offense and this team putting in some points and pouring in some points and taking care of that team total, as opposed to Minnesota being held down. I'm not saying they can't both happen. I'm just saying I would be more confident in the Michigan State team total as opposed to them taking care of that spread. Offensively, last few games have played some tougher defensive opponents, and now you have a Minnesota team who, as I mentioned, 12-5. It's a good story to this point. Have kicked above their coverage, though. They are, 93rd per KenPom, 87th adjusted defensive efficiency team. So they, like I said, they kicked above their coverage. Time for them to start coming down to earth. I think you're going to have a tough environment. I believe most of the students are back in town, so you have a tougher environment than what we've seen the last few weeks in a lot of these places. So I do think Minnesota comes back down to earth. Michigan State wins this one, but I'm going to the team total 76.5 for this one here in the Big Ten. The other one here tonight, kind of a goofy one. A Michigan team hosting Illinois, 12-4 Illinois, 7-10 Michigan. Obviously, if you've been paying attention to Illinois, you know Terrence Shannon's still gone, top scorer out. Since his absence, they have, I believe they're 2-2 in conference. Since that, took care of business against Northwestern handily in the almost immediate aftermath of that. Put a tough fight at Purdue, lose by 5, a nice comeback there, but fall short. Nice win at home against Michigan State, and then a not-so-good loss at home against Maryland over the weekend. So you would expect them to be in a bounce-back spot here today against Michigan. Michigan, after a little bit of a losing streak, just beat Ohio State over the weekend, 73-65. I believe that was on Monday morning. Martin Luther King Day there, 73-65. So they're still staying here at home. They're starting to build some momentum. This Michigan team has some firepower at the top. They just don't have a ton of depth. So it is still a team that can win some games here, and it's not going to be a tournament team, but they can still pull off some upsets. And the thing with Illinois, you have to understand, is without Terrence Shannon, you can't look at them the same way that we had been looking at them up until the point Terrence Shannon left. So it's still a tough team. But here on the road in a lot of spots, there's going to be some times where if these these Stars of Michigan are playing well and putting the ball in the hole, it's going to be tough to keep up with them despite the lack of depth here. So I am leaning towards this one being kind of a stinky line a little bit here, with a ranked Illinois team looking for a bounce-back win here against a 7-10 Michigan team. Not just a road game in the Big Ten, but a 7-10 Michigan team that has looked, for the most part, bad in a lot of spots. And like I said, their depth is not there. They are not a very deep team, especially offensively here. So I am leaning towards Michigan taking care of business here tonight. Obviously, I've said it before, Michigan is the one team that I stay away from the most part. They are a Jekyll and Hyde team. You could come in and, Illinois is up 20-5 after the first 10 minutes in this game here. So it is a dangerous one here. I guess I am saying pump the brakes on Illinois. Unless you really, really feel strongly that Michigan is going to lay an egg tonight, I would stay away from Illinois and even consider a Michigan team here tonight. Their offense is not bad, especially when their top scorers are scoring here. Michigan, that is. Whereas Illinois, without Terrence Shannon, they have shown that they can still make up for that loss of 20-point per game score, but they go through some droughts at point and they look a little out of sorts at times and inefficient at times. So I am a little worried about Illinois today. Hoping I'm wrong. Hoping I am proved wrong with Illinois tonight. But I would at least beware of Illinois tonight. The other one that I wanted to mention, to at least beware of a favorite here. It's going to take a second to find this one, but Gonzaga is hosting. Gonzaga is on the road at Pepperdine tonight. 9-10 Pepperdine. 12.5-point favorites on the road here. I do think this number is pretty fair. You got Gonzaga coming off of a loss to Santa Clara at Santa Clara, tough Santa Clara team, 76-77. You got a Pepperdine team that Gonzaga just took care of exactly 2 weeks ago in Gonzaga as 21-point favorites, 86-60. People see that score, and you're looking for a Gonzaga bounce back, and you see 12.5, and it looks like some free cheese there for you. Not saying they can't do it, because this Gonzaga team, despite not being the same Gonzaga team that we've seen in the past, is still a good team. But I would beware of Gonzaga tonight. I am leaning towards the Pepperdine side, at least 12.5. I do think Gonzaga bounces back and can get a win here. I'm not saying this is a panic button moment and they lose 2 in a row. Not saying that, but I'm saying 12.5 is a lot for a team that in Pepperdine that can give them some problems, has given them problems in the past. Obviously not this game that we saw earlier this year, but a team that is at times can be formidable here. So the 12.5 seems a little slight to me after the 26-point win exactly 2 weeks ago there. So you've got a Pepperdine winning each of their last two, one home, one away there. So a team that can definitely take care of business. They can high-scoring games for the most part here. This total is right around where these teams typically are. So I don't see anything to make too much of this total. But at the end of the day, I am a little nervous about the 12.5 with Gonzaga here. I think I would respect Gonzaga if it was higher here, especially in a bounce-back spot, because I think a lot of people are expecting them to make that bounce-back there. So we're heading to Malibu at Pepperdine, and we're getting Pepperdine covered tonight. But aside from that, Washington at Cal is a little fishy. You've got a 10-7 Washington team at a bad 6-11 Cal team, and Washington is the dog. So if you're looking for some, that one's 8 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock East Coast time. So not quite the late Pac-12 special, but a Washington team that just loses to UCLA. Cal coming off of a loss at Oregon there. I would respect Washington if they are favorites in this game, frankly. On the road here, Cal, 6-11 Cal team. Not a very good, it's a Washington team that's coming back down to earth a little bit here, and obviously a Cal team that I mentioned just has not been playing well at all here. So I am going to lean towards the old California Golden Bears, 129 per KenPom up against, I believe it was 60 Washington, and we're looking at Washington as the dogs in this one. So something to take account of. Don't firing away too easy on Washington because you think they're going to roll over a bad Cal team here. And aside from that, like I said, this one is going to be very, very short and sweet, my friends. Some Pac-12 action, but of all the Power 5 conferences, the Pac-12 is the one that I typically have the least amount of feel for, and typically don't get a sense of it until later in the season, even into the tournament there. So I let that one go in the regular season for the most part. A couple other ranked games. Memphis, only 10.5-point favorites at home against South Florida, which was a total coincidence. I've got this South Florida quarter zip in my closet that's cozy as heck, and that was a random pickup. So maybe with the coincidence, we go hammer away on the South Florida line here. But in general, even jokes aside, I 10.5 at home for a 9-5 South Florida team as the dogs here against a Memphis team that obviously 15-2. Number 10 per the AP in the country. Only 10.5-point favorites is a little head scratching. It seems a little slight there. Memphis winners of a bunch in a row now. South Florida beat a Rice team that nothing crazy to write home about there. Have won a decent amount before that in a row here. But this Memphis team is taking care of this matchup a lot of times in a row here. So this one seems a little small to me, if I'm being honest, for a ranked Memphis team. So obviously, I talked myself into it because I totally coincidentally, am wearing a South Florida quarter zip today. But I think you have to admit that, especially at home, this one would make more sense if this was Memphis on the road in South Florida here. The fact that they're home in Memphis and this is only 10.5 does seem a little fishy to me. So I am going to go towards South Florida, and I think I would have been leading myself into that even if I wasn't wearing South Florida on my chest here right now. So that's a nice, love getting my college basketball, college football gear. This was a cheap find, and it's a mainstay in my wardrobe. So does this happen from time to time that I see South Florida on the schedule when I'm coincidentally wearing this? Yes, but I think I would have been talking myself into it regardless of the wardrobe coincidence there. So aside from that, my friends, as I tell you, I can't help you out too much with the NHL if there is anything going on. Looks like there's a big slate, but I am not the hockey guy. I am apologizing for that one there. And NFL, nothing too crazy as far as line moves here, other than Detroit. I believe this one, unless I was wrong, and this one was coming closer to 7 yesterday. And a few spots you can find it at 7. So if you've been waiting for Tampa to get to 7, it is there now in certain spots. Obviously, if you're waiting for Detroit to come down, it is probably not coming down. And I don't know that it's going to go past 7 into 7.5. I don't think that's going to be the case there. But at the end of the day, you probably missed Detroit at a 6 spot there. I don't know that it's going to get back to that, but I could be wrong. And the 48.5 on that game there is worth looking into there. These two teams played 20-6 game back in October in Tampa as a 43.5 total, and now we're up at 48.5. So something to look into. Something to look into if you're looking for some points there. Fire away on maybe an overplay on that one. But we will, I believe, today is Thursday. Obviously, Jeff is going to have some shows tomorrow addressing some NFL stuff. Jeff and I are going to be talking Saturday morning on college basketball as well as the NFL games on Saturday morning, talking about all 4 of those games, I imagine, and get our as close to the kickoff thoughts as we can on those. Got the 2 Packers, Niners, Ravens, Texans on Saturday, and then the other 2 on Sunday. Obviously, everyone's anticipating that Chiefs-Bills one to be a classic. I think we're going to get a couple classics this weekend. Hopefully, in my sake, obviously, a good upset win again here. But we'll get there when we get there. But without further ado, I told you it's going to be a quick one. I am a man of my word here. Going to keep it under 20 minutes and go ahead and get on out of here. So thank you all for stopping by this week. Stop by to Jeff and all of his shows on the ECSI networks tomorrow on this tomorrow's Fine Friday. And then check us out Saturday morning talking college basketball as well as anything else. And obviously NFL that's going on Saturday and anything else there. So thank you all for stopping by. Best of luck if you got anything going on today. Hope we get some winners tonight, my friends. And I will see y'all later.